But what is the position with the blacks in this country, with Africans, coloreds, and Indians? In most cases, they were excluded from schools. To say even less of tertiary education, because you did not have the facilities. You could not go to the best schools in the country, which are well equipped to enable you to grasp sophisticated concepts fully. And the environment between the school and the home was totally different. You come to parents, some of whom have never seen the inside of a school. Housing facilities where about 5 children share one room, sleeping on the floor, where children have to study on the floor with candlelight, as somebody has said here. Notwithstanding that difference, nevertheless, the media, analysts, judge us more severely than they judged the apartheid regime. Our people went into exile in order to mobilize the international community to isolate South Africa, to make it a polecat of the world. Others went in and out of jail, operated underground, like the present Minister of Finance. Still others served long terms in jail. Suddenly, you found on the 27th of April 1994 that we were now entrusted with the task of running an advanced country with modern ports and harbors, with a sophisticated banking and insurance system, with improved communications, either by road, by air, and so on. We were taken literally from the bush in order to run this country, and yet we have delivered services which no government in the country has done. We ought to be complimented with that. Naturally, we have made many mistakes, some of them fundamental. Then we have shown weaknesses because we came to government determined to clean it of corruption. And yet we found that our own members, some of them who held a leading position in the liberation movement, themselves became corrupt, and in some cases, even more corrupt than the civil service of the apartheid regime. That was a great disappointment, still is to us, because we believe in clean government. But the difference between the apartheid regime and ourselves is that we have set up a commission under a senior judge to investigate corruption in government. And we have arrested a lot of people, some of them highly placed, and exposed them because we have given instructions that anybody who is corrupt must be arrested, and if there is evidence, he must be convicted, even if he belongs to the African National Congress. We must compliment Judge Heath for having investigated no less than 90,000 and having recovered more than 10 billion rand, which were embezzled by state employees. That is our position, transparency even about weaknesses amongst ourselves. But what I want to say to you is that nevertheless, South Africa occupies a special place in the hearts of the international community. What you have done collectively has been hailed as a miracle of the world. We know who brought about these changes. It was the liberation movement. It was AZAPO. It was the PAC. It was the African National Congress. But we could not have made this peaceful transformation without the cooperation of other sections of the population, especially whites. If we had not done that, if we had not asked for their cooperation, there would have been rivers of blood flowing across this country. But we were able to go to the government as the African National Congress and said, let us sit down and sort out our problems. We have brought about this miracle. When you go to the world, you need just to say, I am a South African, whether you are black or white, and the doors of the world become wide open to you. That is the reality. I want you to understand that. The leaders of this country, when they go abroad, are fitted right and left. They are given rare honors, some of which have been given only to 2 people in history. That is not a compliment just to individuals. It's a compliment to the entire South Africa, black and white, because we have been able to confound the prophets of doom and had a peaceful transformation where everybody predicted that there will be violence which will last for years, if not centuries. And we're honored by the world because of that. I want you to keep that in mind, to respond to the call for unity and for reconciliation, and not to behave in a way which let down those who trust us inside and outside the country. You have become an example, a shining beacon to the entire world. Some of our people here are aware of this. Business, for example. Ever since I came out of jail in 1990, I've gone around the country, the private sector, to say to them, our people in the countryside lack facilities. I want you to help to build clinics and schools. The response has made me to say, I was born and brought up in South Africa, but I certainly did not know my country well. I never knew that white business would respond so positively, where everyone is prepared now to share his resources with those who are disadvantaged. This year alone, I have taken out no less than 30 different business people to the countryside, each one to build a clinic and a school. And I've made it clear that I don't just want walls and roofs. I want a clinic which is equipped with modern facilities which can link up with medical institutions throughout the country. I want schools which are properly equipped so that our children should be able to grasp these sophisticated concepts. I am 81, but I don't know what internet means. I can see people pressing a button. What happens after that, I do not know. Now we want to change that situation. And the response of business is marvelous. And this project, the first one to respond, and I think it deserves to be mentioned, was Dr. Fender of Altro, who built a school where I went for my sub-A. But this has happened throughout the country. Northern Province, KwaZulu-Natal, and almost all the provinces, Western Cape and the Northern Cape. And this is what is happening. And many people in this country who says we represent this particular community are not aware of what is happening in those communities. Those communities are forgetting the past, and they do not want to be the part of the minority. And that is what I want to say. Refuse to be part of the minority. Be part of the majority. Be like Trevor Manuel, who can go to a meeting either of the national executive of the ANC or the government and attack an old man like myself, confidently. Because they know that in our organization, if there is anything I have taught the national executive, is that tell me when I'm wrong. I want to go out to the public confident that what I say cannot be challenged. If somebody challenges it, he or she will lose credibility. Be like Derek Hanekom, be like Alec Awe, who are taking part in decision making. Make no mistake, no white rule will ever return to this country. And those parties who still wanted to foster the idea of whites keeping their privileges are living in a fool's paradise. That will never happen again. The whites are already playing a critical role in the transformation in this country. And I want you to continue to do so. This Census 96 is a good example, where people, professionals from all groups, have worked together to produce these excellent results. There is a lot of work to be done in the countryside, because almost all these businessmen, when I take them to the countryside, they can smell from the helicopter in the air. They can smell the poverty, the disease, the ignorance that afflicts people in the countryside. And one of the first questions they asked, are things of this nature still happening in our country? And I want you to participate in the program to better the lives of everybody with all your advantages. Go to the countryside. Train people just to read and write their names. Train people to be able to speak modern languages. Train people to be able to think correctly and to express their opinions. That is the work which will make you part of the majority. I'm not saying join the African National Congress. If you join the African National Congress, I will not be angry with you. But I'm merely asking you to use your advantages. We have forgotten the past, but we are appealing to you to use your advantages in order to better the life of all South Africans. That will be a gain to the entire country and not to the individuals that you benefit because of your knowledge and expertise. With these few words, I've delivered a very short address. But you'll understand that in my tradition, an old man is never limited to 30 minutes or so. I can speak the whole day. Thank you.
Wadu, wadu, badi, palo, palo, mwana wa